You have absolutely no idea of anything when it comes to actually loving a woman. The only research that you've done in this area is purely on the attraction focus, how to attract the girl, and yet you know nothing about how to actually make her feel loved. So what do you bring to the table? It's time that someone hit young men with some realism these days, because so many young men are lonely, so many young men complain about the dating market. Oh yeah, women's standards are too high. But the truth is that honestly, a lot of us don't actually bring anything that women would be attracted to. Now, I'll just be totally honest and abrupt. I personally think that over 90% of men are pathetic, and I also believe that over 90% of women are pathetic, and I don't want to mix with them. But there are a certain select few of men who actually can make a woman feel very loved. And these are not the men, by the way, that you see popping off on social media. These are not like the high value men who make money and stuff. That stuff is so irrelevant to any intelligent woman. That stuff is very irrelevant. You want to know what you could bring to the table that would actually set you apart, and it would be so much faster and more effective than you going down that materialistic path. Because everyone online is telling you, okay, this is how you attract the girl. You make the muscle, you make the money, you learn how to take the good pictures and everything. And this is just attraction. It's like, it's kind of nice to know these things, but the truth is that you're going to struggle. If on the best case scenario, you actually do attract the girl, you'll fuck it up. Because once you've got her, this is when you don't know what to do after that. You want to know what you could bring to the table? Pure masculinity. What is masculinity? In the modern Western culture, it's all about like this sort of fake cope of wanting to provide. You see all these alpha male, high value men saying, yeah, and it's to provide for your girls. You've got, providing's really awesome. The truth is that these guys are full of ego. They passed the barrier to be able to provide for everyone that they cared about years ago, but they keep making more money because it all comes out of insecurity and ego, which is a problem that they still haven't faced yet. They haven't been able to dissolve the need for other people's validation. It's not these real world things that will maintain and grow her love. It's the weirdly spiritual things that you and I barely understand. It's matching her emotional intensity with your consciousness. Do you even understand what that means? Let me say that again, and you try to comprehend what I just said. It's matching her emotional intensity with your consciousness. You probably have no idea what that means, but if you did, you'd be able to maintain and grow her love for you. Again, if you just want to attract dumb women, the 90% of women, then you don't have to follow this advice. Just get a six-pack, get a towel, take your clothes off, put the towel in front of your dick, take a picture where you look sexy, post it on Instagram, post it on Tinder. You'll get 10 times more matches than you usually will, and you will be able to attract some degenerate girl, and you can get the stinky hole that you've chased after. But if that's the path you're going to go down, I would recommend one thing. The next time you've got one of these dumb women that you didn't actually want to be with, but you just think that, I've got to get girls, right? The next time she spreads her legs for you, look at it and ask yourself, is this what I've been chasing? Is this what I've been working so hard for? Because when you develop more standards than all these male influencers are trying to get you to do, to get these likes on Instagram and these matches on Tinder, when you're tired of these low quality women and you want to start dating the higher quality ones, not just on physical appearance, but the women who are actually wholesome, the women who are intelligent, the women who aren't just after the high value man who smokes a cigar pretending to be fucking Andrew Tate. When you want to attract more of these wholesome, more spiritual, more loving women, undamaged women who aren't very materialistic, women who won't think that you should buy them the expensive handbag. When you want to attract these women, they're not looking for the bank balance. They're looking at you, and their subconscious can tell if you're present or if you're mind wandering. They can literally tell when you've had a thought in your brain, and the moment that you get a thought in your brain, which happens probably 500,000 times a day, right? The moment you get a thought in your brain, these kinds of women will be less attracted to you because they want to date a man who is conscious. They want to date a man who is pure and present. And so when you're having sex with one of these women, guess what happens? When you start to fantasize about a different girl, which is what a normal experience is for a lot of men, these women will be disgusted by you because they'll be able to pick up on that. This is the kind of high quality woman which is barely spoken about these days. All the guys in my space only speak about these sort of Instagram model girls, these shallow, attractive on the outside, but just dead and empty on the inside. And I thought this was cope for a long time. I thought I was just coping, saying like, yeah, you know, those hot girls are just dead, you know, like being a guy who couldn't get one. When you start to experience it, you realize that wasn't a cope, that actually, like, there's still very attractive girls, but most of the girls that these sort of seemingly attractive, high value men are getting, they're not women that you actually would want to spend your time with. They're more of a headache than they're worth. They subtract more from your life than they give. And so when you want one of those actual, genuine, feminine, loving women, the ones who aren't horrible to be around, the ones who are pleasant to be around, the ones who will nurture your energy in such a beautiful, magnificent way, the one who you will feel like such like a powerful, present man that you couldn't help but to your gaze when you look at her just squint in such an attractive way that you speak with this deeper, more spiritual, philosophical way. When you want that kind of relationship, well, then you can't be a normal guy. You can't be acting like 90% of guys. And what are 90% of guys after? Think about it. What are the goals of the 90% of guys? They're the exact same as yours. You have the same goals as the 90%, don't you? They want to make muscle, they want to make money, they want to get girls, they want to get more likes on Instagram. They're the same goals as you. And this is why you're still struggling, because you still act like the 90%. And I don't blame you, because you see so many of these fake influencers, these celebrities online talking about how to get girls and, how to be a top G, how to be a high value man. And they're all just feeding you bullshit. They're all telling you, yeah, you need money to get girls. And by the way, I've got a money programmer. Yeah, go click the link in the description, guys. When actually, the kind of woman you probably want in your life is not the one who would enter your life just because you made more money recently. You would probably want the kind of woman who would love you as much if you were broke. Now, you wouldn't want some woman to have like low standards, but you would want her love not to be based on material possessions. You would want her love to be based on your personality, your energy, your purpose, your mission. That you could be a starving artist and she would still love you as much as she does right now. That you could be a billionaire, but she wouldn't love you unless you were there present and loving with her. You want to know a little secret what a lot of guys don't speak about? Billionaires get divorced. Millionaires get cheated on. World star athletes get cheated on by their girlfriends and wives, and those girlfriends and wives get pregnant from some random other guy, and they make this world-class athlete, like, they make him believe that he's the father. That's one of the worst things that could happen. Like, you raise a child that's not even yours and this woman has deceived you, right? And these men are millionaires. They've got huge levels of status that you and I might not ever get to, and they're still getting cheated on. Men who have been working for 12 hours a day for decades are still getting cheated on and divorced. Why? Because women don't give a fuck about your material possessions. Or I will rephrase that. Loving women don't. A woman who doesn't love you cares a lot about that material possession. A woman who's got skewed values. The woman who wants the handbag. If you think that working hard and building money and providing for her is going to keep her faithful to you, you've been sold a lie. And it sounds crazy what I'm saying. It really sounds crazy. I'm saying that a woman might still cheat on you even though you've been working hard to provide for her. That's wrong, right? Well, it's only wrong if you believe that women should be a certain kind of way that they're not. Because a woman genuinely, they care very little of you providing and making money. They really, really care very little. You've been sold a lie. You've seen these disgusting Fresh and Fit podcasts, Red Pill podcasts, where they bring in stupid, unintelligent women and they ask them so what does a guy need? And they'll say oh yeah, 100K, 200K. And this is what we've all every young guy these days is watching these stupid, disgusting podcasts thinking, oh man, yeah, see, women just want a guy who's got 100K. They want a guy who's 6'1". And I can't believe so many guys haven't taken a step back to think, wait, these are degenerate, unintelligent women who are also being interviewed by degenerate, unintelligent men, disgusting men with herpes. Men who literally when they take a piss, their dick burns. This is the content you're watching and what's building up the views of your mind of what women are actually like. It's, of course, not an accurate representation. Men who have been working so hard for years, for decades, still get cheated on and divorced because this isn't what most women actually truly value. This isn't what the feminine energy inside of a woman really values. Providing for her is just a very small part. I know that this seems crazy because everyone disagrees. Let me just tell you my opinion with this, and you can go out into the world and maybe a few years from now you'll remember this and think, fuck me, he was actually right. Holy fuck, why did no one else speak like that? Providing for a woman is only a very small part of it. The bigger part of it is the way that you love her. If billionaires are still getting divorced, then clearly working hard and making money doesn't make you safe, does it? So if there could be one kind of trait, one habit that we could get into that would make you absolutely bulletproof, that you could not get divorced or you could not get cheated on, what would it be? It wouldn't be working hard. It wouldn't be providing. It wouldn't be making money and, spending it on lavish things. It wouldn't even be like building the muscle and looking attractive. I am sure that the thing that you could do that would literally guarantee a beautiful, committed, faithful relationship for your entire life with her is more of the spiritual side of things, spirituality. What this actually means in practical sense, it means that you learn what masculine energy really is. Because it's not about this cultural idea of working hard. It's not about the money. It's not about the big macho, here I am, I've got muscle, yes, I'll use a deep voice. It's not about that. Masculinity in the spiritual sense is consciousness. Masculinity is presence. So you've probably heard of some things about mental health and Buddhism and this kind of mindset that we aren't the thinker. You've probably heard that before, right? So those thoughts that we have in our mind, people have a lot of mental health problems because they believe that they are those thoughts and they allow those thoughts to control their mind. But when you start to study some mental health practices and spirituality, you start to realize that you're not actually the thinker. You're kind of like the consciousness behind the thinker that hears the thoughts, that feels the feelings. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does, right? Masculinity is the pure consciousness. It does not change. It is just still. Feminine energy is everything else. It's everything that changes. Feminine energy is your thought. It's your emotions. It's literally the entire world. Everything that you see out of your eyes, whether the shape of this water bottle, the way you see me, the fact that my chest can bounce up and down, what this woman says to you, your physical attraction to her, your erection when you think about her sexually, how she responds to you, her energy, the lust that she brings up. These are all feminine energy. It's the changing that you've heard before that, feminine energy is a lot more chaotic. It's like the ocean. Feminine energy is change. Masculine energy is stillness. The way to get to these deeper levels of love that no one online is talking about is to achieve more of your stillness in life. Is to achieve more of this pure consciousness. And you want to know why no one's talking about this online? Why none of your favorite male influencers are talking about this? Because they can't sell you a program about this. If they tell you that the reason why you're not getting girls is because you're not making money, they can sell you a program about making money. But the reason why you're struggling to deepen love with a woman is because of your presence, and the way to be more present is to, for example, close off your fucking screens, meditate, sit in stillness, journal, do those slow mental health activities. Well, no one's really profiting from that, are they? This is why almost no one online will be speaking about this stuff. And unfortunately, the few spiritual men who speak about this stuff, well, you can imagine spiritual guys are so secure in themselves that they don't need to grow on social media. They don't need to be there hopping from podcast to podcast, spreading oh yeah, women are like this and women are men are like this. Yeah, women can't drive. Spiritual guys who are content with their lives don't have to do that kind of work, and so they don't pop off on social media. But this is the way, and you're probably not going to take any action on this. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. But I would be interested if you just kind of kept this video, this message in mind, and hopefully within 6 months or 12 months or a few years from now, after you realize that you've just wasted a few years of your life following the advice of these degenerate, dirty men who've got herpes and a burning dick, after you've wasted a few years of your life, hopefully you'll start to realize that actually the spiritual path was what you wanted all this time. And that is where the good women are at. I'm teaching a lot more of this stuff inside of my online community called Adonis School. There's a top link in the description. So if you want to learn how to attract a beautiful feminine woman in the no bullshit real way, which isn't about all this material possession bullshit, that's what we've started teaching inside of Adonis School. Go click the top link in the description right now. You can watch this video as well if you want to. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah!